And we're live again. Man, when you're first starting with this live streaming and everything, it's a bit amusing, stressing as well, because you're always going to mess up some things. But until you get used to the idea that, hey, you can't control shit, so at least move on and adjust. Unfortunately, I had to go out of the live stream because I had to restart my computer completely. But it is what it is. Hello, everyone. Wally here. Today we're going to be chatting, of course, about the markets, about what's going on with Bitcoin and the Bitcoin reserve, apparently, strategic reserve. If you want to jump in, you have the link here, and I'll post it on the comment section. So let's see if yeah, that should be the one. That's it. So you have the lovely link, the first one. I think I can pin it. Let's see if I can. No, I cannot pin it. So, hi everyone, welcome to my one of my first ever live streams. I wanted to please share my screen as well. Let's do this. And I think now you should be able to see it. Say hello. Hope everyone is having a great day. Amazing times for crypto investors and interesting times for anyone living around the world. It's been like a continuous...
It's been a ride, hasn't it?
What's
been keeping you busy lately?
Everything, and that's Grok talking to me right now. I don't know why. How is everyone going? How's your portfolio doing? Are you recovering from all of the market volatility? This is what we have here, a post from Jelly. This guy's strategy is quite cool. He's just keeping a plain simple idea. He has, let's see if we can increase it. He's basically not doing anything until like, I don't know, 65, 60, 70K. Every time Bitcoin gets over 70K, I think he's selling somewhere around 2% of his portfolio. I think weekly, monthly, something, not sure. But that's quite a cool way of taking stress out of your life, not having to worry all the time about the markets and stuff. But the plan remains unchanged, expecting Bitcoin to push towards the upper end of my red box in the next few months, and I'll keep slowly scaling out. So he's looking towards 160,000 Bitcoin for this cycle. We have loads of projections and estimations, and trust me, as this cycle goes forward, you're going to see more and more price increases and more price forecasts. Most likely, some of them are going to be extraordinarily wild. Don't get yourself pulled in that mayhem, because that's the best way to get toasted. So if you can manage... Hi. Wow, this is like, it makes me smile. This is like one of my first live streams, and I have like 10 people on. Thank you, guys. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. I know I am. Let's see. Major things. I think finally Ukraine and Mr. Donald Trump are going to sign an agreement for the minerals. I know Ukraine is going to lose more than they were supposed to lose in the first one, but it is what it is. You have to play ball. He disrespected the White House and Donald Trump. It doesn't really matter what you think, you agree with it or not. It's Trump's White House. Zelensky, from my point of view, should have done his research. Man, even I knew that the way he behaved there, that was a complete loss. So it's unfortunate. Can I put the comment. Let's see if I can put the comment in the live stream. And I am right now. Fine. Here you go. If you want to join the live stream, share your thoughts, share a story. What are you doing right now in the markets? Are you guys buying? Do you think that Friday we're gonna have another sell the news event? Because we kept having plenty of those lately, and a lot of people are getting completely wrecked, especially when it comes to leverage. Leverage, I think leverage at the moment, it's exactly like cocaine. It was created by God to show you that you have too much money. And it's sad because even if you look on crypto Twitter, even though shitloads of influencers are like pushing leverage and are like, yeah, we're going to do some trades, we're going to do that shit and that shit and that shit. The little guys usually get screwed up because they can't really manage their emotions that well, or they have pressure from their family and friends and all of that crap. So I'm DCAing, if that helps. I'm still not convinced that we're not going to have a sell the news event because, let's be honest, at the moment we had Trump swinging completely from one side to the other. Either you have tariffs and after 2 weeks you don't have tariffs anymore. Now they're implemented second day. So yesterday there were already rumors that, hey, we might scale back from tomorrow being today. We had the problem with Zelensky. It took like 3-4 days. In 3 days, he canceled any military aid. Now they're already getting back on the table. They're signing an agreement. It's like everything moves so fast that as long as you don't have insider knowledge, like I think everyone is kind of figuring it out with the massive whale that they did, I don't know, 7 million or something with 50x leverage on Saturday. Oh no, on Sunday before the announcement, Trump's post. They took profits on Monday morning. And if I understood correctly, they started a short position again with 50% leverage right before the major destruction of the markets on Monday with tariffs going in and everything is going to be doomsday and so on. So if you have insider knowledge, you are going to be okay, apparently. Cool. Let's see what's going on. What we always need to remember, the big whales are always buying. They don't really give a crap. They're not worried about buying bread tomorrow, and some of them are actually doing it at a really, really low cost. So like MicroStrategy getting raising money with 0% interest and so on, and Meta Planet doing exactly the same. So Meta Planet has acquired another 497 Bitcoin at an average price of 83,000. So, and he already, Simon already stated yesterday, I think, that he will not stop, definitely not anytime soon. So while we're stressing out that we need to pay rent and eggs in America are like, I don't know, $20 for 6 eggs, this guy is buying. Strategy is buying. I know they took a pause last week. I wouldn't be surprised if they buy in the next 2 weeks again. From lately, I've noticed that they're doing like every 2 weeks buys, just to give a chance to the market to adjust, because overall they will dilute their shareholders. And as a strategy shareholder, I'm fully aware of that. I know the risk. But it is what it is. I live in UK, so for me, it's like if I want to have exposure to Bitcoin, but only Bitcoin, in like a tax wrapper, we have an ISA account here. So that's my only way of having direct Bitcoin exposure without paying tax on any of the profits. So my personal strategy on that one is like that, having strategy in my ISA account and Bitcoin in my cold storage. I don't need to take profits on my Bitcoin. I just take profits whenever I need on strategy. Easy, simple. I don't have to stress I don't have to worry about the tax man because, of course, like everywhere around the world, they are increasing taxes, my friends. Nothing, no good deed goes unpunished. So for the lower tax bracket, I think we're going to have an increase in UK from 10%. It's going to jump in April to 18%. So then the government is not going through the stress that we are going right now. And every time we have dips and every time we have all of those crap news in the markets, you're fighting with your family, calling you dumb when you had Bitcoin at 16, 17,000. If they're not going with me through all of that shit, why should I give them more and more tax on my profits? I don't see the point. So that's why I have exposure to both. I do understand why Bitcoin maxis are like not your keys, not your coin, and strategies over like Bitcoin on leverage. I get it. That's why it's much smaller position. But you do what we can. We do what we can with what we have. And unfortunately, we don't have that much. So my view on investing in general is slowly DCA. Make sure that you have more income than you actually need to spend. And hopefully that's going to take you quite easily through all of this kind of downturns. And if I have a problem with, sorry, let me do it like this. If I do have a problem with crypto Twitter in general, is all the freaking hatred, man. Yeah, I know we had like millions, billions of dollars of leverage taken out, and everyone is taking a shit and on the people that got wiped out. I think they're suffering enough. Stepping on them and treating them like shit is not going to make them come back to the market. They're going to, oh, screw it. Everywhere you look, everyone is going to take a shit on you. So it's just like, move on. I think with a bit more smiley attitude, maybe we can increase that 5% worldwide adoption on Bitcoin and on crypto. We need to increase that. And we're not going to do it by shitting on the people that we want to join the market, right? And it's not about, I need someone to come and buy my bags. The way things are going at the moment, we don't really need retail to buy our bags anymore. We're going to have governments. You have America, hopefully. Probably it's going to take a while because the wheels of government and the whole processes are taking longer than we ever expect. But if the American government is going to buy our bags, I don't really need to shit on retail, right? You're going to have maybe China. Apparently, there were rumors they're having like closed door meetings on regulation and possibly a Bitcoin reserve, and more coming. There were like Saudi Arabia, I think they said that they already bought. So retail is becoming the smaller and smaller chunk of the market. And after this crazy market that we had the last few months already, I think most of retail and most of the weak hands are already out, completely wiped out. And I'm hoping to maybe we can bring some of them back in, but with a different mentality rather than, oh yeah, it's going to pump to the moon and we're going to get rich in 5 days and that's it. We're going to sell and move on. They get liquidated because, of course, you have seldom news events and you have normal volatility in the market. And because Bitcoin is still at the beginning, you have shitloads of volatility. Hi, everyone. How is everyone doing? How is your portfolio doing today? I think it should be doing great. Let's just check the bubbles as well, because the bubbles are going to tell us exactly what's going on. But if you feel like sharing, do let me know. How's your portfolio doing today? Let's see. Let's share this tab. Finally, after a long time, we can see green, a lot of green. And don't get me wrong, this might just last until Friday, like I said. If we have another sell-off during the weekend. It's okay, don't be too surprised. That's why I'm not putting all of the cash that I have left in the market. I've tried my best to DCA as much as I could since after the election, because let's face it, up to the inauguration, up to Trump being like actually in office, markets were way too expensive, and it didn't really make sense, especially with the uncertainty that we already knew that Trump is going to bring to the table. And man, he brought some uncertainty and some crazy times. But that's what creates the best opportunities to buy. And we've seen already from Nayib Bukele, he's buying the dip and carrying on to do the same thing over and over again. But the major news, and I think you guys can see this as well. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Ludwig says strategic Bitcoin reserve will be announced at Trump White House summit. That's on Friday. Other tokens will be treated positively, but differently. This is regarding things like XRP, Cardano, Solana, Ethereum. I know there's been a big major debate on crypto Twitter, and not only that, on anywhere on social media, about the fact that Trump was saying of adding all of them in the reserve, and me included. I think Bitcoin should be the only one. Now that Trump actually checked the vibe of the market and people and changing this, tweaking a bit the message, it shows me that, man, I don't know who Trump has in his team, but they're freaking amazing. They're like just on top of it. Things change, they change fast. They're adjusting super fast. And this is impressive for me, because I know a lot of people love Trump, a lot of people don't. I'll be honest, I usually get lost in his speeches because some of them don't make any sense. Some of his statements would make my uni teachers like smash their heads to walls or something. Like everything that I've learned of economy and econ 101, that's like just thrown out the window. But he's playing hardball. He's negotiating a lot and using all of the things that he's doing for negotiating. So far, even though we can't see it like clearly, I think he's actually getting exactly what he wanted. And what I mean by that, markets crashed, or are crashing at least. That's good. From his point of view, he's not going to suffer that much. No one is going to suffer for a few percent drop in the market. With Doge, unemployment will rise. You can't really do anything about that. There was some news yesterday about IRS possibly firing up to 50% of their workforce. That's going to bring a big bend to the unemployment rate, right? That's going to force Gensler's hand to reduce rates. And we already see that in the betting markets from just like a week ago, the possibility of 2 rate cuts. Now it's already jumping towards 3, or is already at 3. The dollar, due to tariffs, this was actually quite interesting. And let me know what's your opinion, but I wasn't expecting that. The dollar is going down, which again, it's quite good, especially for companies that have do business outside of America, because the weaker the dollar, the better it is for them, selling their products, taking more profits and all of that. So far, no matter how chaotic it seems, and no matter how stressful it's been for basically everyone in the stock market, everyone in the crypto market, in the crypto market, we've been so chainsaws everywhere and leverage smashing their heads every freaking day. Going short, done. Going long, done. It's like But for him, overall, so far so good. It's like I can't complain. Let's see what else what else do we want to talk about? Let's react to some other things because why not? Let's see what this guy has to say.
So the tariff system, and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt Americans a lot. It's going to hurt Canadians a lot. And here's why: with the tariffs that Donald Trump put in place, Stellantis.
Let me know if the sound is okay. Yeah.
In Ontario has already determined that they're no longer going to do this $2 billion retrofit. So that plant that was supposed to happen in Brampton, where we're going to manufacture vehicles, it's not happening anymore. Honda just announced that the Honda Civic is now no longer going to be made in Mexico. It's going to be made in Indiana. While he's moving manufacturing to the US, what do you think is going to happen to those costs? The input costs of having American citizens at $20, $25, $35 an hour, as opposed to having Mexicans put together those products for a third of the price, maybe even a fourth or a fifth of the price, is substantial. So the cost of cars, there's going to be inflation, there's going to be higher costs. The problem with tariffs is there's a duality effect. When you push manufacturing to a country that is highly expensive, that means that end product is going to be more expensive for you. So when everyone's been saying...
Yeah, and he's completely right on this one, because the companies manufacturing the products, they're not going to eat up, most of them can't even afford to eat up those tariffs. And they're going to increase the prices, or they're going to get out of the market completely. For example, if I'm manufacturing cars in Mexico and it's not sustainable for me to sell it in America, I'm going to try to export it somewhere else. It's kind of hard, I think. In theory, it's going to screw up Canada and Mexico a lot. But the whole craziness of this news cycle is that already we have rumors that he might scale back on the tariffs. There might work out a deal. I think the president of Mexico did a smart move, because China already announced retaliations. Canada already announced retaliations. Mexico was like, you know what? Let's chill. We'll announce ours on Sunday. If everything changes until Sunday, I would expect the president of Mexico to be like, with our dear friend, nostro amigo, señor presidente, let's chat nicely. Let's work on the border. What don't you want? You don't want fentanyl? No problem, mate. And I completely agree with Trump on that, man. That's destroying lives. That's destroying American lives. And if it's starting to spread around Europe as well, it's like, okay, Mr. President, let's work on that. What do you want? How do we do it? You know what? You're amazing and you want your companies to grow as well. Let's allow some investment, more investment from your companies in securing the border. Good for you, good for us. Win-win. So it's like, let's see if I'm right, but I think so far, Mexican president was the only one. She was like, let's take a chill pill and see how things are going, because reacting just in like a wheelie measurement competition with Trump at the moment, it's not going to work. He already expressed it really clearly. It's not going to work. Like he already told his Canadian senator that any kind of retaliation will be hit back with same thing, same measure, increase in the same power, same magnitude. So it's not going to work for him.
That yes, these tariffs are going to hurt everyone. They are. It's not going to help the economy more than it's going to hurt U.S. citizens in the cost of what they're going to be paying for those goods. In addition to that, when you have what's called protectionist tariff policies, or just even protectionist measurements, you're protecting sectors. And when you protect sectors, there's actually less innovation because there's less competition. And this is something that is just fundamentally economically true. Competition is what drives innovation, is what drives better product. And overall, this is just a huge mistake both for it, more for the U.S. and for Canada for engaging in this, because we're going to be hurt by this too.
He is completely right in everything he said. The only thing that I would actually mention is that at the moment, Canada has much more to lose than America. Like it or not, even though probably Trump is expecting this, countries are tending to step away from dollar as the major currency, major reserve of the world. And that's why I think the Bitcoin reserve is going to play a good, big role for America. But at the moment, the biggest power with the money printer is still in America. And Canada's economy, I would expect, would be devastated way before America's. Let me know if you're Canadian, but if you think otherwise. But from what I understood, Canada is doing much worse at the moment, and I'm just lucky that our amazing guy Starmer didn't manage to piss Trump up, because I don't think UK is in a situation where we could even engage in a tariff war at the moment. Like the vibe here in UK, from where I see, and I'm not talking about rich people. I wouldn't care less about rich people, because trust me, no matter how shitty the situation goes with the economy, they'll still be fine. I'm talking about us, the little guys. The little guy usually gets toast first and the most. So at the moment in UK, we can't really afford having a tariff war. We would desperately need a trade deal, though, and I think they're toying with that. Europe, yeah, they're happy they have the unemployment rate at 6.2% or something. So, yet again, not good, my friend. But in the meantime, let's see. Anyone in the chat? How can I see that? I don't even know. So I'm streaming on StreamYard, and I was hoping I'm going to see all of the comments here. Not sure why I can't, but possibly there's no one actually commenting. But hello to the first 35 people joining in. Like I said, if you want to join the live stream, say hello, share your story, tell me how and why did you start investing in the first place, so we can spread the word. And I'll start with mine. I basically got sick like 7 years ago from a normal dude in my prime time, young, working like a bull, 60 hours a day and so on. I just flat out had a blood clot on my leg. And since then, let's just say that my mobility went slowly, and after that, abruptly to shit. So when I got sick, coming from low-income family in an Eastern European country, I had no freaking idea what investing means. Like zero financial education. I didn't know that you can buy shares in companies. I had zero clue. I didn't own a credit card until then. So if you think you're zero, trust me, probably I was worse. On the other hand, I'm not regretting the fact that I did live my life to the max until the moment that I got sick. Otherwise, probably I would have regretted that as well. But the fact that I got sick and I soon realized that my situation is going to get worse and worse, it at least gave me, like, let's say 4 or 5 years to try to save as much as I could from what I was working until I was pretty much forced to quit. So that's how I started. Started small. I started building my credit score and all of those things, and started learning about Bitcoin as much as I could, the stock market. And this is how I got here. Am I rich? No, definitely not. I'm living from my savings for the past 2 years now. So let's just say it's more than I would have expected. I think if I wouldn't have started when I started, I would have been in a completely different situation right now. Most likely somewhere in a forest, in a tent, or even without a tent. So I kind of owe everything at the moment to my investments. And I'm trying my best not to screw them over as much as I can and not to overspend. How did you start with investments? Or did you even start? Are you new to this? I'm really curious. And the part with going live, in the meantime, I had a kid as well. So right after I got sick, a few months after, apparently sitting home and being stressed, I had to do something. So, well, he appeared after 9 months. Recently, my kid started crying like crazy because he saw a dumbass ad on a game with a mom and a child crying in the cold and not having money for food and medicine. And I was like, yeah, okay, the kid is right. That's not fair and that's not nice. And I know I'm not a TA guy. I'm not the one that's going to tell you, oh, invest in a specific company because that's what's going to make you millions. But in the same time, if I can just chat with people and help you guys have a better vibe for the day and maybe open up to the idea of investments and open up to the idea of cryptocurrencies. No, let's not call them cryptocurrencies because that's what gives us a lot of trouble. So crypto assets, let's call it crypto assets. Maybe I have more chance in front of a camera because trust me, I tried with my friends and none of them listened when it came to crypto assets. And when it comes to stock market investing, no matter what I told them is like, okay, start small, DCA, buy casually, like you can afford it. I don't know. It doesn't matter if you have $20 a week, every 2 weeks or every month. Every little counts. And the first and the hardest part is starting. Exactly like me talking in front of a camera, because I've never done this before. And I've always been used to speaking with people face to face because I can actually see their feedback. But pressing record is the hardest thing you can do. Doing your first investment might be the hardest thing you can do as well. It gets easier after. My problem with the friends that listen to me when it comes to investing in the stock market is I don't know how the fuck after 2 days of me explaining, okay, this is S&P 500. It follows top 500 companies in America. You have FTSE 100 if you want to go for the English markets and so on. Or you can just, after that, you can diversify a bit in other great companies. If you start doing your research and analyzing some companies, as you learn more, maybe you put more. Everyone in its own pace. It's not a competition. I feel very happy for anyone that does money, but I don't know how every time after 2-3 days they were coming with the best meme stocks, anything low cap, anything with volatility, anything with zero earnings, losing money companies, and it's like, okay, we're talking about investments or about building a safety pot, preparing yourself for a possible retirement at some point, and everyone is acting like they're in the casino. And honestly, rather than gambling on leverage and on, like we had, man, in the crypto markets, we had shitloads of degenerates that lost all of their life savings in meme coins. We had people who committed suicide on live streams. And that guy, I think he had a kid and a wife. that's fucked up sad, and that's not what investing is supposed to be. So if you really want to go and gamble, just go to the casino, man. At least you might have some fun there, have some head massage and shit. You know you're going to lose money anyway, but at least you talk to people and so on. Because if you lose money in the crypto markets and you go on crypto Twitter after that and you're like, say, you know, guys, I lost money, everyone is going to take a shit on you anyway. So what's the point? Or at least you want to risk some money, use a small chunk, like a make me rich chunk. Use 5%, I don't know, whatever makes you happy, and put in Trump coin, which is like what? Let's see, where is Trump coin? Because definitely the best collectible should be doing great right now. I can't even see it. Bonk, 6% in one day. At the moment, as Mr. Ben from Into the Cryptoverse is saying, let me share this. Until we have actual clarity on when quantitative tightening is going to stop. And yeah, they dropped hints about, I think, June, but that might even change much faster than anyone is expecting. Let's see. And when we're going to share... Stop. Fine, and we're back. I think I had an echo for a second. I don't know why I can't show the panel. Okay, fine. Oh, I just checked. So yeah, there are 0 comments because there's 0 comments. It's better to check in live. Now that I fixed that. So as I was saying, I wouldn't expect Bitcoin dominance to go that low that fast, considering that we still have loads of uncertainty, and Trump is definitely not stopping with his tariff game yet. He still has a lot of things to do, and he still wants to get, I suppose, some discussions with China and so on. We need to see what's going to happen with the Russia-Ukraine war, Israel with Palestine as well. A lot of uncertainty everywhere. Problem with the big investors is they cannot project. And if I am myself DCAing into the market, they need to be able to project what's going to happen in 6 months, what's going to happen in 12 months. But usually I think they go around 5-6 months in the future, from what I understand. And at the moment, there's so much chaos that they have no idea what projections to do. I think Al-Harian, if I'm not messing his name up, is already thinking not of 3 rate cuts. He's thinking about maybe not having even one or maximum 1 rate cut this year. So the difference, it's massive. So there's no guarantee. So that's why at the moment I'm focusing just on Bitcoin as much as I can. And if I feel like I have extra spare cash that I wouldn't really need for a while, I'm DCAing into my main coins. And for me, those are, because I keep it simple. Let me see, what are we doing? Solana. Probably I'm gonna start buying some Ethereum as well, because let's face it, it had really bad days so far. But good news for today, I think they're getting closer and closer to their next upgrade for the network. So that's good. And I think Ondo, I'm buying a tiny bit because it's still smaller cap, and of course, the smaller it gets, the more speculative it gets. And if we have another big downturn, Ondo Finance as well. If we have another big downturn, trust me, the smaller they are, the farther down they go. We already have so much uncertainty that even Plan B came out with a video like yesterday or the day before. He's still thinking that we're going to have a V-shaped recovery and we're going to carry on with our normal cycles. If this is still a normal cycle, that will mean that, yeah, we're having this correction. That doesn't mean that it's over yet. I think Bitcoin went down like 30%, 32%. But yeah, that doesn't mean that it stopped. But if the cycles carry on as normal, we should go back up. Of course, maybe have another few corrections, and the top should come somewhere towards the end of the year. Maybe, if we're really lucky, carry on until the beginning of 2026. That's if we don't get into a massive recession, worldwide recession. But with everything that is happening, macro and within America at the moment, you started having fears of stagflation. So economy is not going up, GDP is not going up, but in the same time you have inflation that keeps crawling up and up. And yeah, I know everyone is going to tell me that no, but Trump signed so many agreements and we're going to have so much money coming into the American markets, and look at the factories and the businesses that they're going to build. With like TSMC announced 100, I think, yesterday, the day before. Yeah, I get that, and it's really good news. And honestly, for the part with bringing chip manufacturing into America, it's a really good strategic move as well, just in case something happens with the main factories due to China. Just saying, having localized manufacturing for chips, that pretty much at the moment in 2025, it becomes national security. Why? Because if you check, your Hoover has chips. Everything has chips. Probably even your toothbrush has chips at the moment. So if you lose access to the chip market, you're screwed. And we saw in the past year, at least with China, struggling a bit to the restrictions to NVIDIA and all the things that they had to go through, and the games they had to go through probably to buy on the black market or creating shell companies. I'm not saying they did that. These are just rumors. I don't want to upset anyone. But if you have localized manufacturing for chips, it's really good for national security. But face it, it's going to take a long time to build it. And secondly, you're going to have a big need for tax relief. And the prices for manufacturing definitely are not going to be the same like you have it in Taiwan, for example. Why? Because labor force, it's much cheaper there. No matter what you say, minimum wages in America are really high. So manufacturing prices are going to be really high. The beginning is going to be possibly even more expensive because I'm not sure if you have the proper labor force. So you're going to have a lot of training. Probably you're going to have to bring some people from the main factory for training and going on. So the beginning is quite slow. The same like the guy was saying about car manufacturing moving to America. To build those factories or repurpose different properties that they're going to buy if they don't build it from scratch like Tesla does, it's still going to take time. Which reminds me, the only one who wins from this with at least one car manufacturing, it's Tesla. And I know all the Elon haters are going to jump in the air right now. But Tesla was supposed to build a factory in Mexico. And we were waiting for it the whole of last year. I don't know what made him change his mind and slow down, besides all of the macro factors and so on. But Tesla basically dodged the bullet in building the new manufacturing factory in Mexico. They dodged a massive bullet. And they are, I think, one of the only 100% manufacturer cars in America. because most of the others are importing either from Canada or from Mexico, mostly from Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. But yes. Let's see. We have something from, who's this? Joe Lansdale. So he is the co-founder of Palantir, another amazing company that I invest in. And let's see what he has to say.
For Bitcoin, I don't think Pompliano.
You know, I think there are some arguments to do a just Bitcoin reserve. I think choosing other winners in the space. I think he listed off a few different winners. I'm actually long some of those currencies. It's probably good for me if they do it from a financial perspective. I don't think that's the proper role of government to pick winners and losers. We got to be very careful. This administration is very properly cutting hundreds of billions of grift and waste. Like, we're finding out that these far left Democrats are basically a party of just stealing free money. Our side should not be doing things that are feeding money towards our side and our friends. We should be doing things based on the role of government.
Yeah.
So basically, don't do exactly the same thing that you're complaining they were doing.
I think we glossed over the why don't.
Yeah, and this is where the entire crypto community and I think even the co-founder of Palantir, you had Neil Armstrong as well, and more or less any major important person in the crypto industry is saying exactly the same thing. Bitcoin, yeah, completely makes sense. And even if you just add Bitcoin to a reserve, it's going to be beneficial to the entire market. You don't need to add the rest of the assets in a reserve. To help the industry, you just need SEC to do its job and not choke the industry. And they're already doing that. They've canceled and stopped most of the cases they had against the crypto exchanges. And not only, I think we're going to have in March, probably, I think in March. So March is an amazing month for the crypto markets. They're going to have a meeting, open mic meeting live. So maybe we see that together, depending on the hour. As long as the SEC gives perfectly clear guidance and discusses with industry leaders on, hey, how can we put some proper safeguards even for people buying collectibles like Trump coin? Because we had a lot of rug pulls and a lot of shit happening and a lot of people losing their money, and mostly because you didn't have enough clarity, you didn't have enough safeguards and guardrails. And a good example and a nice move, let's see if I can find it. Let's swap. In the meantime, let me know what's going through your mind. What are the pricing doing? Okay, Bitcoin has reached 90,450. Even jumped to 9,700 at some point. So I think Ronaldinho is a decent example. He launched his collectible a few days ago. There was bad feedback from the community about unlocks and about all of those things. He came back. It's like, you know what? You guys said what you had to say. We acknowledged you're right. We changed that. We updated that. And these are the perks you're going to get with the Ronaldinho or whatever the name of that collectible is. And I'll try to look for it in the meantime. But the fact that he is open to negative feedback and he's transparent about it, changing and adjusting the underlying collectible as he goes. And I think he already said that you're going to get perks from owning that collectible. That's what makes sense, because the whole idea is to have a collectible, or I don't call them collectibles. I know that's how they were called lately on American media. I call them community coins. And another example was Trump, who airdropped his Trump coin to people that bought things from his shop, things like that. So let's share this now. So Ronaldinho, he launched his on 2nd of March. So he lost his only official token, whatever. Time to celebrate, yeah. I don't know if they can see. Fine. So he launched it. He announced what kind of benefits people are going to have. And this is what I was saying. We hear you and we will keep listening. Ownership was not renounced. Now it is. Tokens cannot be destroyed without warning. 30 days was not enough. Now it's locked for, I don't know if this is years, but okay, fine. He wrote years, 255 years. Security isn't a detail, it's a priority. Your trust matters. We're here for the long run. That's amazing. And whenever someone was asking me, why do I call them community coins? I'm like, think about it like this. Let's take the example of Mr. Beast. Even though I'm not the follower of his, I didn't really see videos of him. I pretty much got the idea that he usually ends up giving shitloads of money to people. And wouldn't it be much easier for him, rather than going with the stashes of cash and everything, just to airdrop the part of the community coin and to have unlocks of the community coin? You get the point? So you can implement it and use it in so many ways. And I think it would be easier for him to have a reach towards his worldwide audience, because I suppose now he's doing most of the cash parts. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not, as I said, I'm not following the guy, but I think he has much more easy reach to the American market. But with collectible, he could reach his audience from the smallest, darkest places in Romania. And I'm saying Romania because I'm from there, so I don't get anyone offended. I'm not talking about your country, bro. I'm talking about mine. But much more easy to reach a teenager in a small city, village of Romania, because all you need is a freaking phone and that's it. But that's my view on it. I still think that we need shitloads of openness, legislation, and guardrails, because as we've seen already, newcomers get wrecked. Whew. And we've been going for 50 minutes. Wow. It's refreshing. Before we go, because the juju is still doing amazing, and let me just switch on favorites and share this bank. This is my favorites list so far. So we have Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Tesla, and Palantir. I should be adding some MicroStrategy here as well. As we hopefully grow this channel with your help and support, and thank you for everything so far. We can add more to this favorites list. Tell me what you guys are investing in, and yeah, we're going to follow the news and what's going on there. As I said, I'm really waiting to see what's going to happen on Friday. I still think there's a big possibility that it's going to be buy the rumor, sell the news. We kept having plenty of those so far. So if you were thinking about risking your lunch money or leveraging your lunch money, I would, let's say, suggest not to. DCA if you want, or just buy now if you want, but don't use leverage. As long as you don't have insider knowledge, and if you do, please DM me. I want to know. I can do the same. If we have insider knowledge, why not? But at the market, as we're closing this live stream, Solana is $146.8, and I think it reached 150. And of course, the second it reached 150, it went back down. And we can see here, this was like the Sunday pump when Trump told us that, hey, we're going to have the crypto reserve. It jumped from 140 more or less to 178. Monday came, everyone got wrecked, back down, baby. So I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. Like we go up until Friday and over the weekend we get smashed. But there's always a possibility, yeah? Think about it like this. Even if they announce even if they announce the Bitcoin reserve and let's say how favorable they're going to be towards Ethereum, Solana, and the other American coins, the idea of actually implementing it might take a while. It definitely should take a while. The only way I see this, and this is just my view, of just destroying everything, like jumping to the moon and going towards Jupiter and Mars, is if America bought the market dip, the correction that we just had. If America was buying over the counter in the past few days, and all of this tariff war and all of this shit was, besides the fact that he wants to force Jerome Powell's hand in reducing interest rates, it was to buy Bitcoin for the Bitcoin reserve. That's gonna blow a lot of heads. But I'm really not sure that's even possible. I still have a lot to learn, and I'm here to start learning. And yeah, hopefully together we end up freeing ourselves from the hustle, the daily 9 to 5 hustle. And I'm not saying that I don't love working. I still work. Not this, because if you can imagine, I'm not making any money right now from live streaming and from social media. But for me personally, having my financial freedom would allow me to work in an industry that I really want without any kind of worries. So I wouldn't want to be pressured. I wouldn't want to feel like I'm a slave doing the job just because I have to pay my mortgage. And if I quit, I'm screwed. Having that financial freedom for me takes a big chunk of the weight on my shoulders. I'm not sure about you. I know a lot of people are saying, no, it's like I'm going to make my first million and I'm going to retire and just live my life on the beach. Yeah, good on you. If you can do that, fine. But for me, it would be boring as crazy. So yeah, I don't want to stop working. And we've seen that with Charlie and with Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett probably is going to work exactly like Charlie Munger. Amazing investors. And if you don't know about them, do look them up. Ask your AI assistant if you're too lazy to search by yourself. But they're like my go-to for let's call it stability, mental stability. So they keep working, and I suppose they will work until their last breath. And that's mostly because they're doing something that they really love and something that they think is making a change towards for the world in general and in people's lives as well. That's why I'm starting this. Hopefully I'm going to get more relaxed in front of the camera and we're going to chat more. Like I said, I'm using StreamYard to live stream, so we can have up to 9 people on screen in the same time. If you guys want to have open discussions and share your thoughts, tell us about your investments or why you like certain, well, let's just keep it to the major coins and no shilling, because shilling doesn't help anyone, but always willing to invite people on. As I said, I think I'm a sociable person, and in the past 1.5 years, I kind of got stuck in my corner, and I really miss that. I really miss talking to people, and that's why I'm here. And if me talking in front of a camera is going to bring me back to communicating with amazing people like yourselves, it's a really good win. And if, as a side effect, some of you manage to get a smile or a better vibe on your day, or open your mind towards the idea of investing either in yourself or in amazing companies or amazing projects like Bitcoin, for example. And I know you have the Bitcoin maximalists, which are saying that Bitcoin is the one and only, and there would only be Bitcoin. I kind of disagree and agree in the same time. Yeah, Bitcoin is the one that I see as a reserve asset. I see as the digital gold. For the rest, as long as they have issuance, as long as they have a leader or a CEO or anything that pretty much reminds me of a company, I would quite honestly regard them as companies. And of course, being in a new industry, they're very risky companies. So yeah, your main bet, no financial advice here because I'm definitely not the one to give it, would be Bitcoin. And after that, if you feel like doing some more research in something like Ethereum, Solana, and so on, go for it. You have loads of projects that actually have real utility. And even if we have like the how do you call it, the crypto bubble popping, and most of them are going to go 99% down like we had in the actual bubble. If a project, a company actually offers value and has revenues and grows, it will survive and it will carry on. It will most likely regain its prices, like Ethereum basically proved over the last few cycles. And I know now, if you say you like Ethereum, you get a load of hate on crypto Twitter. Yeah, it's still here. It's still working. They're still trying to upgrade. You have a lot of L2s. Yeah, it's more complicated. But for banks, I think, for the moment, institutions coming new to the market, I don't think they're going to risk going really down on the curve of risk. So Ethereum, Solana, this might have more chances. And I know you have projects like Sui coming over as well, which is another American project as well. You have loads of possibilities. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I need to get back to my regular job. Hope you enjoyed the chat. Say hello next time. I'll try to be here every Monday to Friday, and we'll probably try to increase the time that we spend live. We'll see if I manage to finish what I'm doing on my normal job. I might try to come back for the market open and maybe react to some YouTube videos or something. Learn together whatever we can. That's it from me. Have a great one. Have an amazing day. Enjoy it. Live life like every day like it's your last, because it can always be your last one. Life is short, but it's really worth living. I will